Hello everybody from Average AF Land. I just took the time while I'm having a lunch break here at work to quickly write up in terms of risk management type scenario for understanding what the goal of the Average AF and the wow factor journey is. So what I've done here is I've quickly drawn a bow tie up on the board, which most of the risk management people would have seen in some sort of form over the times. Obviously I've made it a little bit more obvious for the bow tie. So basically what I've started the project for of the sporting app is to try and focus a little bit more of our energy and time on the pre-incident. So as with all bow ties, what I've got in the middle here is a critical catastrophic failure of health and wellness, which is the point in time or the risk that we want to manage pre-incident and post-incident. So seeing as mental health issues are pretty new to the scene, they're not new to people suffering from them, but they're new to the conversation point. I think what we're doing at the moment is we're suffering a lot of wasted time, not wasted time, but potentially misused time with over this side of the bow tie. And I don't think we've really implemented enough strategies on this side of the bow tie yet to either help us when we get to this point, not get to the point, or if we do get to the point of a critical catastrophic failure, that we're well equipped with some tools around education, understanding and resilience, so that if it's only a mild incidence of this, that it might go away and not be an ongoing sort of thing. So as you can see over here on this side of it, which is a post event, so we've come across someone or somebody has recently come into a critical catastrophic failure of their health and wellness. The tools that we try and use is support through a psychiatrist. It's drug related, counselling, time off work, different types of therapies and some rehab. So most of them are pretty serious things, and if you've ever suffered with anxiety and depression like I do on a regular basis and have done for 10 years now, you'll find that a lot of these things will actually, for the early part of the repair journey, will trigger the anxiety a lot further along, because you know that work's looking at you when you start having time off. You know that the social stigmas around psychiatry. You know that I personally was told to take a higher level of drug, and I don't want to be drug dependent. You know that support is difficult to talk about your problems when you've already failed, and you also know that rehab means basically some time away from friends and family to get some serious help. So basically what I've been trying to work on in the last 6 months is building some support networks prior to this, basically in the 5 categories, which is I'm not an expert. I do not know, but the best person to judge me is me. So this is not an expert's opinion by any means. This is a person with life experience who deals with a lot of people in my work group, in my family, and also with the battles that I have myself. So physical, intellectual, spiritual, financial, emotional is basically what I've got my process around. Physical being the sporting app. So that's the AAF stuff that I talk about, the AAF app, and that's basically what the app's about. The app's about getting people outside with their friends, their families, having some fun in the sun, competing in some mate-to-mate rivalry, while sort of getting a bit of low-level physical engagement, so that it might prompt them to get back into a physical lifestyle, or at least just get their bodies moving enough to be good for their health and wellness, without having to shove down their throat that they're actually receiving health and wellness treatment. That's the point of all this side here, is that we try and get all this stuff into it without even mentioning the risk of doing it potentially leading to that, because not everybody's going to lead to that if they don't do this. But when they get there, a lot of this stuff is very, very hard and too late to get them back to a point over here. So we've got to focus a lot more on this side over here to understand how to not get there, or if we do get there, to make it go away quickly because we understand it. And leadership is one of the biggest things that we focus on. So intellectually, we want to upskill our people. We want to have education for our people. Education can be about the upskilling, but it also can be education about what sort of feelings and symptoms you might have if you started going down the path of being stressed and unwell. And setting roles and goals early for all of our people. That's from a pink hat right through, from a cleaner, pink hat right through to an educated person that comes in from the side and not from the ground. We don't set roles and goals early enough, so we miss a lot of opportunity for people who feel that they're stuck in a position causing stress. We don't support, our camps don't support enough of health and wellness to get people off their bum, so they go back, eat a big heavy meal late in the night and go straight to bed, or they have a few beers and stress related. All of them start cascading towards that critical catastrophic failure. Spiritually, some yoga, some religion and some meditation in those areas would go a long way to just giving people different avenues to understand. Yoga's not for everyone, nor is meditation, but I've done both and I can tell you that they do have their own varying degrees, but this is a holistic approach to health and wellness. If you focus on one thing and these things all fall over, you'll end up average AF, and that's what the whole point of the app is about. So spiritually, even religion, I don't see much of it around there. A lot of people can say that they find some relief in that. There's some science that I've seen behind that too around breathing techniques in religious hymns. So breathing and learning all that sort of stuff, there's a lot to do with yoga and meditation. That's why a lot of them go hand in hand. Financially, we have a lot of problems on site that we bring to work. How can we expect our workers to come to work and have zero harm when they show up tired, drained, worried, about financial situations, even though they're in probably one of the wealthiest industries? We suffer more so than anything because a lot of these people haven't had a formal education to know what to do with that and can get themselves in a lot of trouble. So some seminars, brokers, tax advice and financial planners to give them some peace of mind. And emotionally, there's a lot of chat groups out there, but basic socialising, some team events and unpacking through psychologists is what I would say are the 5 main sort of groups that we need to focus on as we move forward in creating a workforce full of people that have a lot of tools to either never get here or, like I said originally, get there and not have to do it. These guys over here, fantastic, but the way I explain to the operators for me is if I have a Mercedes car and I take it to the local mechanic and I ask him to just maintain it so that I can continue driving it from my town to Brisbane on a regular basis, a local mechanic with basic knowledge will be able to maintain my high-powered fancy engine Merc. He'll be able to maintain that. The Merc is our brain. All of these things here are maintenance options. And if you can maintain a high-powered machine like your brain, you'll have a lot less likelihood of a breakdown. If you take that brain and drive it flat out and mistreat that brain, at some point when it breaks down, these guys, a lot of these guys, the psychologists and the counsellors and a lot of these things here, they rely on maintenance. They're a maintenance group. That's my opinion of what they're giving. They're a maintenance group. If you take a broken thing to a maintenance group, they struggle. You need a specialist. So I'm not saying that people that aren't specialists can't help you maintain, but what I'm saying is when you break something, you're going to have to go up to these ones here. Most likely these are going to be the answers to get you back to a point where you can maintain. Goal is maintain the brain, use all these tools, don't get here. If you do get here, get back out of it pretty quickly, and hopefully we can start laying off these things which will eventually, fingers crossed, curb that rate of suicide that we can see trending through our workforces at the moment. So again, not an expert, just someone who's willing to put his money where his mouth is and say, this is what I'm learning from the floor up, and see if I can integrate that learning from the floor into what we're doing from the top down and make a difference. Thanks.